Yeah, I love it. Hello, Nigel.
Hi, Kristen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm exhausted, but I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Good. Well, welcome to our 5th and final session.
No.
I know.
This was fun.
I know. We're really sad that we're ending, but we might continue to see each other. So.
Absolutely.
All right. So as always, do our little spiel before we get started. So as a school counselor, I'm here to guide you in any kind of choices, to make better choices as you go through your life. And everything that we say here is confidential, so it just stays between you and me, unless we are hearing conversations or having talks about, you wanting to harm yourself, someone wanting to harm you, or someone else wanting to harm yourself, someone else wanting to harm you.
Or me wanting
to harm somebody else. See that?
I got it.
He has learned. Thanks. See, you know exactly where I was going with. So
I'm getting an A.
You are going to get it. So with that being said, let's start with our usual question. How has your week, or how has everything been going since the last time that we met? I know
it's been
it's been
about
3
weeks?
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
And St. Patty's Day, and I know that's when you were really coming into the new role with the kitchen, and a lot of changes were happening. A lot of new people were coming in. So how has everything been going since that?
It's been up and down. As you've probably seen, there's been a lot of tension in the kitchen between people think that their way is right, and other people think their way is right, and I'm kind of stuck in the middle. But I mean, it's a different challenge that I didn't expect, which kind of took me off guard for a minute. But I've been slowly I won't say getting used to it, but because it's been slowly getting better as well. Like we've been having talks amongst each other and the managers as well, trying to compromise with each other, so giving somebody giving ideas to one person, a person giving their ideas to another, and just trying to patch things up for the betterment of the restaurant.
Sure.
So it's definitely been a challenge, but it's been fulfilling. I'll say that.
You sure about that? I'm seeing you say because fulfilling, but your facial expressions are telling me something else.
I feel as though, I mean, I definitely have a lot bigger role. But over the past, maybe like the past week and a half, I've been starting to feel again like I'm not in a leadership position. Meaning, when some of the higher people left, I saw myself as the lead line cook, and working the big stations. But lately I've been on Fry Station listening to some of the new people, and I mean I take it because the manager is telling me I see your effort, I see what you can do, I see that you know the kitchen like the back of your hand, front of the house like the back of your hand. So just keep it up, keep doing your work. So I mean, I kind of have to do it for I have to make sacrifices. So whatever he feels is best for the restaurant. But overall, I think it's going well. It's going well.
It's going well.
Yeah.
So leadership factor is still not quite there yet.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Do we have a timeline of when we think it's going to get there, or it's definitely?
I have. Well, I know it's definitely going to change. It's just kind of hard to tell when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully sometime in the next few weeks.
Hopefully, yeah.
That will really shape up.
And I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind working, different stations and not being the leader, because I know that the person in charge is constantly coming to me, asking me how to do certain things, because I know how to do it, and because of my background and all that. So, at least he's not arrogant and doesn't feel like, oh yeah, I can do all this, I don't need your help. He comes to people for help who feels though they know what's right, so he comes to them.
Sure. So that's interesting that he's coming to you, and he's one of the new guys, you're saying, right? That is coming to you and asking you these questions. So now how does that make you feel? Is it putting you in an awkward position with other people that you work with, or is it?
I wouldn't. Well,
okay?
I think the only awkward situation is when you have some of the new people and some of the other people. We'll call them veterans in this situation.
Okay.
You have them butting heads. Especially when we have on a busy Friday night when we have 20 tickets lined up and they're constantly bickering at each other. And I'm kind of just stuck in the middle, and I keep my mouth shut and just try to put my food out. So that's probably the only awkward situation. But when they come to me and ask for advice, or I go to them and ask for advice, I don't feel as though it's awkward at all. I just feel as though we're not, like, we're humble and we're not arrogant, and we know that there are some areas where we don't have the certain knowledge that we go to somebody else to ask for help.
Sure. So now when they are butting heads and you're kind of stuck in the middle, do you feel like you need to say something, or do you feel like maybe to sit back is the best approach?
Well, I've always been a shy person, but maybe the past few years I've been working on not holding things back and saying what I need to say. Sometimes it's gotten me in trouble saying the first thing that comes to my head. Sometimes comical situations, other times serious situations has got me in trouble. But in these types of situations, mainly I've been holding back and not saying anything. Not necessarily because it's not any of my business, but I feel as though if I say what I'm going to say, that either one, it's not going to come out right, or two, I'm going to take myself out of my focus, and I'm not going to be able to focus on what we really need to do. Because in the kitchen, we all have one goal: to put out good food quickly.
Right.
So if I were to say anything, it would more or less be, you guys need to shut up and focus on getting this food out. If you guys have something to say to each other, wait till 10, 11 o'clock when we're closing down, cleaning up, and you guys can go in the back of the kitchen. I'll clean all your stuff up for you. You go in the back of the kitchen and handle that out. Leave me out of it.
Okay, so maybe these are really good tools that you can use, because you seem like you already know what you would say in these types of situations, because you are being presented with them more and more. So instead of maybe not focusing on it's going to come out wrong, or because obviously the first point is that you all need to be focused to make that food, to have it come out and push it through that line, like you said, on the busy nights. So when you see and hear the bickering, maybe you, as a bystander, as a friend on both sides, can just say, listen, guys, I hear you. Can we, put it somewhere else until, like you said, 10 or 11 o'clock, where you can go somewhere else and really have a conversation. This way, at least you're acknowledging the fact that they're having an argument, but, you're refocusing them in a better way. This way, because maybe they just need someone to acknowledge them. Do you hear me?
Right.
I'm kind of mad over here, and I'm stomping my feet and having a 5-year-old tantrum. Maybe they just need someone to say, listen, I hear you. I get you're mad. I hear you're frustrated, but listen, we got to do this right now. We got to put out our food, and later we'll work on it then.
Right.
So maybe we can utilize some of that. This way, it's not so just thick back there.
And I know, like, since some of the new people have started a few weeks ago, like it's been starting from day one that people have been clashing heads. But I know that the managers have been talking to them and trying to help them to patch things up, and they've had more than one talk with the managers about everything that's going on, and how people are talking to each other in the kitchen, not in a respectful manner. And I do see results. I see the results.
Okay.
But we need to keep working to get to that point where there's no butting heads.
Yeah,
or if there's butting heads, it's respectful. Like, okay, I think we should do things this way. What do you think? And do it that way, instead of saying you're wrong. We're going to do it my way.
Right, because like we all know, tensions can get really hot back there.
Right.
So maybe you can be that kind of voice of reason for everybody back there. How do you feel about that? Scale 1 to 10. What do you think?
10.
10. So let's do that. Okay? So you're going to just be a voice of reason. Cool everybody down. Refocus. get them back to where they need to be. Because I think that you are a perfect person to do that because you're so level-headed. You know what I mean? And you're not going to get hot under the collar like everybody else could and is from what you're giving me. You know, so I think that would be good.
And speaking of getting hot-headed, I have had my moments of my temper getting up here, especially on busy Friday nights because, like I said before, people are not talking to each other how they should. So some of them are talking to me in any kind of way, but knowing myself, I know that it's out of anger and frustration, not on me, but towards somebody else, and they kind of just need to let it out. So, I mean, I'm the closest person to them, so they let it out on me, and I really don't care because I know how to kind of zone it out and stay focused. But I understand what it is. And last weekend, for example, that same thing happened.
Right.
He caught me in the walk-in at like 12 o'clock midnight, and he apologized. He apologized for how he spoke to me that night because it wasn't me that he was mad at. He was mad at somebody else, and he just kind of needed to let it out. And he said the same thing to the manager about how he was wrong for how he talked to me that night.
So he took ownership for that.
Right. Exactly.
So that's good. So then that made you feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though I knew what the situation was, it of course it's going to affect me because I'm like, I didn't do anything to you. Why are you upset at me? So, but I mean, I still understood. I worked in the kitchen many years. I understand how things go.
So I think that even though you're so young, that you're bringing this, previous experience and knowledge now to this experience, which it seems like it's definitely helping you because you're not going to let yourself get hot-headed. You're kind of going to be in the middle and just kind of hey, we need to focus and get this together, and then you guys can go later and have your conversations.
Right.
So that's good that you're not letting it, kind of beat you down.
Yeah.
In a way. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that, even though it's getting a little crazy.
Well, it's getting better.
That it's getting better, and that you're not kind of feeding into that fire.
You're right. Exactly.
Which good for you. I'm really glad to hear that because that's important. It could just really get in there and just eat at you, and then put you in a certain way or make you think, in a crooked manner.
Right.
So I'm glad that you're not letting any of those outside conversations come in and bring you down. So good for you. I'm glad to hear that. So Nigel, being that it's our last time, I'm really glad to hear that it is getting better here. So
definitely.
I know it's been crazy, but have you had any time to work on and focus on your writing?
A little bit. A little bit I have.
Okay, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, and especially with me being on spring break, teachers have been piling up the homework. So I've been working on homework. Been here, 40+ hours a week, but I have been writing a little bit.
I'm glad to hear that, and I hope that you'll keep on with your writing and not just let it. I'm here 40 hours. I'm tired. I'm at school 40 hours. I'm tired. I have homework and I want to see my girlfriend and then my writing I'm just gonna put to this side. Maybe take some time for you, and do your writing because that will be a release for you.
Right.
Putting that on paper, what you're feeling and going through here at school in your life makes you feel healthy inside, clears that mind. So I don't want you to lose that. I'm glad to hear that you are writing, even though it is stressful and, the hours and the time and everything. But I'm glad that you're finding that time to do it. So good for you. Yeah. Good for you.
It's definitely a way to release emotions. I feel as though when I write things in music, I can get my point across easier than just speaking verbally now to you.
Right.
So.
A lot of very raw emotions are coming through.
Right.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And there's something about that musical undertone that just really speaks to people and it gets you here in your soul, and then you're like, yes, I understand what you're saying. I really truly believe that. So I'm good. Maybe we can create a piece for your line And you can tell them, like, listen, I've got this piece. I'm going to share it with you and tell me how you feel. You
Okay.
know? I don't know, just to say, like, listen, guys, you're getting a little out of control back there. Let's just bring it down and let's get it together.
Right.
Even it out, you know.
Absolutely.
Something to think about, you know, while you're doing your music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you've been finding the time to do that. Now, who will be a support person that you're going to turn to while you're dealing with all of this here at work, while you're trying to work on your music? Who do you think is going to be a support person for you?
My girlfriend.
Your girlfriend, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that?
Because she understands what I go through, and she's kind of like, she doesn't work in the kitchen, but she's still going to school full time, works 2 jobs, so she gets stressful at times too. So we're kind of our own support system to each other, and that of course always helps. I mean, even though I only get to see her once or twice a week, it definitely helps. Definitely.
Good. I'm really glad to hear that. She will be a person that you're going to look for if things are getting rough, and you can say, hey, I need you. And, you know, That's good. It's really good to have that.
She'll start rubbing my head and I'll fall asleep and I'm good.
That's
all it is. That's all it is.
Oh my goodness. And there it will be, right? So, now, what did you, I have to know, what did you learn from our sessions? Either about yourself and about anything else?
I would say maybe prioritize, things that I want, things that I need, and things in the near future and far future.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's probably a big thing. I don't know if it was the last time we met or the time before that, but we did like the past, present, and future.
Right,
I still have that paper.
Oh yes.
I still have that paper. I look at that.
So happy to hear that. Good. Do you look at it every day?
I don't look at it every day, but I do have it. Yes, absolutely. That I think if we didn't have these sessions, I still would probably put my writing to the side. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Like, it's probably been a few months now because you probably came to me with this in like February or March, something like that. So it over the past few months, I probably wouldn't have anything that I've written in the past few months if we didn't have these sessions. Mm-hmm. And kind of just overall all the things that we talk about, like I think about it, but when you say things verbally, it's like a mental thing. Like when you say it verbally, you want to put it to action. You know what I mean? Like, or if you say verbally or write it down and you see it instead of just thinking it. Like, it's actions speak louder than words. So so when you say something, you don't want to just say it, you want to actually go and do it. So I would say
more tangible.
Right, exactly. So I kind of put that to everything that we've talked about in all those life lessons that we discussed.
I'm so glad to hear that, and I'm really happy that you also have our paper from the last session when we did that 3 Doors activity, and that you look at that from time to time to remind yourself not to lose your focus of where you ultimately want to be for your end goal. I think that's awesome. That makes me feel like really high. I'm sorry. That makes me feel really sorry. So if you are going to have, let's say, if you make a mistake or have a setback in your musical career or getting to your musical goal, because that is the end goal we want to get to, what steps are you going to take, or what are you going to do to get yourself back on track?
From
if you have a setback. So say maybe the restaurant is pulling you in this direction and is saying, Nigel, we need you more, to where it's making you consider putting your education either on hold or maybe refocusing you from your business to maybe that hospitality focus, the shift.
Right.
What do you think you would?
I think if... Okay, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, no.
Because, like I've said before, the restaurant... Like, I've done it since I was like 15 years old. I do love cooking, but my full passion isn't in the restaurant anymore. So if it got to the point where I had to like stop writing and drop out of school, then my best bet, in my opinion, would to be to put in my 2 week notice and find a different job, because
Wow.
I remember,
Okay.
I remember when, like when I graduated high school, and I went to my mom and told her, I want to go to such and such school.
Right.
After that, I kind of thought about it, and I told her, I was like, I don't know if we talked about this. I told her, how do you feel about me working full time for a year, and then taking school up for a year?
And she
And
didn't like
she
that.
wasn't really feeling
Yeah.
that, and of course I didn't want to hear
I
that.
remember that. Yes.
But then like the next week I went back and told her, I was like, what, I'm gonna go part time school, part time work, see how that does. And now I'm in school full time,
Right.
and still working here 40 hours a week. So it was definitely hard, but
Right.
I'm glad that I didn't take that 1 year off of school.
I'm glad that
So,
you didn't either.
yeah.
Because now it's pushing you to really,
Mhm.
okay,
Exactly.
now when I'm at school, I'm motivated, I'm focused, I'm with other like-minded individuals.
Right.
That's your passion. That's where you really shine, right?
And in some instances, hopefully the managers won't hear me say this, but if like if I got like laid off here or fired from here, I probably wouldn't be mad, because it would force me to go update my resume and see if I can get a job in like a real, maybe not corporate type business, but any type of business that's going to make me happy, or you're going to make me a good amount of money where I'm still going to be happy.
Right.
Like if I got a job at the YMCA working with kids, making $12 an hour, working 40 hours a week, I would love that.
You would love
I would
I
love
could
that.
see you do that. I really could.
Absolutely.
You would shine with those kids.
I would
and give them
love
all
doing
kinds
that.
of great time management
Mhm.
skills and build them up, and you would be a really positive role model for them.
I would.
So you could think about that too.
Yeah,
Really.
I'm gonna go into the YMCA website and see what they got.
Yeah, because if you're not happy here, or just something to
Mhm.
have as a backup, because
Definitely.
we don't know
Right.
what could happen here. It's a day by day process.
Exactly.
And then, so it's good to see that you would. Those are positive steps to take. That you wouldn't really be kind of sad about leaving here. You'd be kind of thankful.
Mhm.
I feel like that's what you're saying,
Right.
right?
I've had a good run here.
Yeah, I feel like that's and it's time to do something
Absolutely.
somewhere else.
Definitely.
Spread your wings, a little bit more.
Mhm.
That's very nice. Now, what would you do? What would you do to celebrate success if you were to get everything that you've accomplished? How would you celebrate? You're in your right classes. You're about to graduate. Your writing is becoming much better. You're not here as much.
Well, hopefully by the time I graduate, I'm not gonna be here at all.
Mm-hmm.
Probably go home and take a nap, but then the next day,
Mm-hmm.
or close after that, I'd probably do something out of state or even out of the country. Maybe
Okay.
that'd be a good way to celebrate, and take my family or my girlfriend or something, and go do something big like that.
Where would you go out of the country?
I've been to Italy once. Maybe if I didn't go back to Italy, then maybe like Brazil or something like that.
Very interesting choices.
Definitely.
Beautiful choices too. I've never been to either one, but I just hear.
Do something like that, or I don't know. That's hard.
It is hard.
That's tough.
This
Yeah.
is here to celebrate all of your hard work and accomplishments.
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see when the time comes.
Spur of
Something
the
like
moment.
that. Spur of the moment.
Okay.
I love to live in the moment.
Living in the moment. I
Mhm.
like that. Living in the moment.
Definitely.
Very, well, Nigel, my kind of present to you now that we're doing and we're almost done with our session here. I'm actually going to put all of our sessions on a disc for you, so you can have that.
Oh.
And kind of like go back through our sessions and just, remember what we talked about, and so you don't lose focus
Mhm.
of, with your writing and wanting to open up your music career, and, so you can look back and say, that's right, I forgot about that, but now I remember. So that's going to be my present for you.
Okay.
I'm going to give that to you. So once this is all wrapped up, I'm going to put it on a CD. And that's going to be my kind of gift for you.
Thank you,
So
Kristen.
thank you also for helping me, do this for the last 5 sessions. Because without you, I wouldn't be sitting here, and
Or you could be with a 4-year-old.
which is true.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be super fun too, because then I would play the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Coloring.
Coloring.
We probably do coloring.
Mm-hmm.
And
I color the whole time
playing.
too. If you brought me some crayons in a coloring book, I
I should have brought you
color the whole
coloring.
time.
All right, Nigel. So we are going to wrap it up. Do you have anything else you want to say? You want to talk about before we close?
Just thank you for choosing me. Instead of a 4-year-old.
Thank you for letting
Appreciate
me.
that.
Thank you for being willing to have conversations with me for 5 weeks.
You guys all be good. You be good.
And always remember what we say is that, I know it's stressful here, but we're going to just deflect that. We're going to be a calm kind of namaste in the
Mhm.
middle. And you said you're going to be a 10 as far as kind of saying, listen, I hear you, but we need to do the food and focus first, and then we can do that.
Mhm.
So I just want you to lead with that. And don't forget about your writing and your musical goals, and that your girlfriend will be your support for you when things get rough down the line.
Definitely.
Okay. Nigel, thank you so much again for just
No problem. Thank you.
having conversations with me.
You're welcome.
All right, and that's it. As we say, that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.